Hello and welcome to the Film Pulse Podcast. This is episode number 473. My name's Adam Patterson. With me today, we've got Kevin Rakestraw. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, yeah, it's going.
Yeah, it's going pretty good. No complaints. Right. No complaints here except for the weather.
Oh, yep. Mm-hmm.
You know, it was like a tease. It got real warm, and now it's colder. It's colder here now than it was in January. Like, what's going on here? It's crazy.
Yeah, it's out of control. It's ridiculous.
It's awful. This week on the show, we're going to be talking about the indie comedy Dad and Stepdad, which is going to be opening in New York this week. We also have, we're also going to be going over some of what we've been watching on the watch list and this week's new releases in theaters, VOD, and Blu-ray. Thank you so much for joining us this week. Please remember to review us on iTunes if you get a moment. That'd be great. New Saved by the 90s for March. That is, we're going to be recording it this week or next week. This week or next week. So stay tuned for that. I'll just tell you, we're going to be covering the Friday the 13th TV series. So we had a lot of fun doing the Nightmare on Elm Street TV series. So we're going to do the same thing, but this time with the Friday the 13th TV series, because coincidentally, that show had its final 10 episodes throughout 1990, just like the Friday the 13th, or sorry, the Nightmare on Elm Street series. So stay tuned for that. I will say I haven't watched any from the specific ones we're covering yet, but I did watch maybe half of the first season of that show, and it's significantly better than the Nightmare on Elm Street one. So should be a fun discussion. Stay tuned for that. With that, let's go ahead and talk about Dad and Stepdad. This is directed by Tenen DeLong. I have a synopsis here. Jim and Dave, a dad and stepdad, have trouble bonding during a 3-day weekend upstate with their son, Branson. Now, Kevin, you were the one that brought this to my attention, so we'll start it with you. What are your initial impressions of Dad and Stepdad? I should also mention that this is adapted from a short film by the same name from the same director, and you can watch that short film on Vimeo.
Okay. I probably should have checked that out. Didn't know.
I did watch it after watching this, and it's basically, it's almost the exact same. It's the same concept, same actors and everything. And it's just like a little 8-minute short. But I think that it does a good job of, like, if you're not sure you want to see this, I think that checking that out, you know, for free.
Yeah, it gives you a good idea.
Yeah.
Whether you're going to be into it or not.
It's almost like an extended teaser or something.
I could see that. I was initially pretty interested in this, considering that Tiny DeLong's previous short films, they used to play on No Budge all the time. And I was always a big fan of them. They were always, you know, relatively short, pretty damn funny. He does a really good job of that kind of like awkward comedy.
Oh, yeah. I'd say he does a really amazing job at presenting awkward comedy.
So when I saw the trailer for this, I was like, oh boy, you know, doing a feature length. All right, this should be interesting. And just the idea of two guys, you know, dad and stepdad, just being incredibly awkward, doing their ridiculous, like, one-upmanship type deal, and just, like, you know, going back and forth over the dumbest things that you could envision with a 13-year-old teenager that's played by a grown man. Just the whole idea. I was like, yeah, you know, he's got the track record of doing this. And I gotta say, it's pretty funny. I don't know if it works for an entire, like, hour and 19 minutes, you know? I don't know if awkward comedies work that long for me, personally. But I do appreciate, because a lot of times with comedies, you have the ham fist in a plot, because, you know, it's just bits. We're doing bits. And it's just like, oh, what can get us to the next bit? and they come up with some ridiculous plot. But I appreciated that this movie doesn't have a plot. It's just bit, and then another bit, and then another bit. So I did appreciate that, because some of these bits, they work quite well.
I thought this movie was hilarious. I thought it was so funny. It's definitely my kind of comedy. I can see, like, my wife, for instance, she would hate this. Like, she doesn't. She's not a big fan of awkward comedy. So I think her watching, she didn't watch this, but I think if she watched like 5 minutes of this, she would cringe so hard that it would knock her out of the room.
Yeah.
But for me, as a fan of awkward comedy, especially like awkward, like dad comedy, comedy that involves like men just being completely stupid men, that's my jam. And this movie really nails that. I was getting a lot of like kind of Jim Cummings vibes from this, like just shades of Thunder Road were coming back to me. And I look at that as a good thing. I do agree with you that. So I like the idea of this being a feature length film, because if you see the 8-minute version, the short, that's one where I'm like, okay, yeah, I could definitely use more of this. But I think that one of the main criticisms I had is that there's peaks and valleys with this movie, and I think that one of the main like valleys that happens is like when the two dads go out, they think that Branson is missing, and they go out searching for him, and they end up having this sort of bonding experience. And for me, like, that pretty much that whole sequence didn't work, and it takes up just a very long chunk of time, or at least it felt long. I think probably if I went back and timed it, it would be like 5 minutes or something, but it felt very long to me, and I just wasn't really that into that whole sequence, even though I think that it is an important part of the quote unquote plot, as it were, because that's like the moment when the two of them kind of connect in some way, and become slightly better friends, I guess.
Yeah,
rather than
it's that realization that they're kind of that their overcompensation is kind of unwarranted, because they're so worried about Branson not liking them and liking the other one more. But I will say that I did like that section. It didn't really work for me either, but yet housed in that section is a particularly good bit that I enjoyed with the personality / aura.
Yeah, the spirit argument.
And just how it kept escalating, and they were just getting so pissed off. Those bit arguments were just great. Between the dad or stepdad.
That's like, so that happens in the short too, and that's like right at the beginning of this movie too, and it just I feel like it's such a good way to start things off, like right after they introduce the stepdad, and like it's just a great way to set the stage, I think, because you then have this, like, exactly what you're in for at that point with the passive aggressiveness and the two guys who they're genuinely just trying to be friendly with each other, but it comes off as just so awkward, like the guitar scene, and like almost every scene, like you said, it just is like basically just bit after bit after bit, and it, for me, most of it works on a lot of different levels. I mean, the dialogue is hilarious. I love the script for this. I love the awkward delivery and just like them talking over each other, interrupting each other. It's incredible. I love it. I like it for all the same reasons that I like the Jim Cummings films. I think that he might handle dialogue a little bit better because he has a little bit more complexity in his scripts, but this is still quite good. I mean, the Arobi. I'm gonna toss the Arobi. Just so many different things in this. The grill master.
That was
the grill master fight.
Between that, and I like some of the just like the little bit stuff too, like how he's a replacement gym part salesman.
Yeah. And the other guy's a graphic designer for paper plates and bowls. And I did going back to the grill bit. I think when he tries, so basically the stepdad in this is he's cooking with propane, and the dad wants to cook with coal, and he's like, the coal's gonna lock in the flavor, and he goes, well, yeah, but the hot dogs come with flavor. They're flavored. It's just that whole back, and the funny thing is, like, for most of the movie, they do such a good job of delivering everything in that kind of passive aggressive way, where they still like they clearly are like not like there's a lot of friction here. They're not into each other at all. They probably hate each other at the beginning, but they're just trying to be friends for the sake of Branson, and just the responses that they have with each other. Like, at any moment you think this is going to be it. He's going to lose it. Either one of them are going to completely lose it, but they're always able to just barely hang on to these conversations. And I think it just works out so well.
Yeah, and especially like you said, the script is so well, but on top of that, the line deliveries between the two, Colin Burgess and Anthony Overbeck, like,
so good.
They deliver this perfectly, because the whole grill master thing is just ridiculous. They come with flavor.
I love, and just the scene after that, it cuts to them eating, and they're like the most burnt, like charred to a crisp burgers and dogs I've ever seen. And they like really accentuated how crunchy they were. Oh, it's so good. I think that I was just really in the right headspace for a movie like this. Like, I can't even remember the last time I saw a good comedy like this that gave me a lot of hearty laughs.
It's so stupid. It's just so dumb. But I love it, because it is, like you said, it's that particular, like, guys forcing themselves to be, at least somewhat friendly with each other in the face of a situation that they don't want to be in.
And they're both know-it-alls, which is even hilarious, because, like you said, that there's the constant one-upsmanship that's going on here, like the bird watching, where they're just trying to outdo each other and spotting these birds. And then it's like, this movie is like Dad Joke the movie. I mean, that's pretty much what we're looking at here. Like, cringe levels are out of control, but it's just done so well, and it's just so funny.
Yeah, because I think, because I'm trying to think of like bit by bit, and I'm trying to think of a bit that didn't quite work for me. Because the thing with these bits, like, if it doesn't work for you, they're extended. Like, that's part of the comedy, is that it just keeps going for a while.
Yeah, it continues to escalate. The masturbation scene when they're trying to talk to Branson about masturbating, that was a little bit, that one got to be a little bit too much for me, where I was just like, oh god, please move on.
I will agree with that, because I was trying to think of the one that, like, if there were any that didn't 100% work for me, that one would be the one that I would point to. But even within that, there's still a line here and there that made me laugh.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when, like, Colin Burgess is like, oh, yeah, but, like, up until, what, was it, like, age 18? He's like, you just go to town.
Yeah.
Just do whatever you want.
I also did like that when he first when they first went into the house and he was trying to tell him that he was going to let Branson smoke a cigar, and he's like, age of consent in this house is 13. And he's like, what? No, age to vote. Age to vote is 13. Oh, it's so funny. Oh my God. Yeah, it's great. If again, I think it's an easy recommend if you're into awkward humor. If you can't take awkward humor, if it's not for you, then this is probably one you'll want to pass. You'll want to pass on, because it is like, it's very intensely awkward.
It'll be torture. You'll fucking hate it.
Yeah, but man, this was it for me. Like this checked all the boxes for me. I thought it was endlessly funny. So definitely recommend it. Unfortunately, it seems like this is got kind of a weird release, so I don't know if it's going to be coming out on demand at some point. If it seems like maybe it's one of those that's going to pop up on like Mubi or one of those other kind of indie streaming services. But I don't know.
Yeah, it's got to show up somewhere at some point.
Yeah, maybe like Factory 25 will pick it up. Well, it's if it's playing in theaters, does it have distribution?
I don't know. It's only playing through March 16th at Spectacle Theater, so you got to be in a very specific place in New York in order to see this. But like you mentioned, Factory, that I feel like they would pick this up.
Yeah,
they got to pick this up. Yeah, I think like coming into this, I was like, Dad and Stepdad, but it was all right. It was pretty good. Stuff made me laugh. But talking with you about it has like heightened it. So I think if you see it with friends, I think you'll enjoy it even more.
Yeah, I agree. I think that this is one that I think you'll get more out of, because it's like one of those movies where it has a million quotable lines.
Oh yeah.
And I think that it's one of those movies where like you come out of the theater and you and your buddies are just quoting this movie for the next few days or whatever, and it just makes you laugh all over again. Oh yeah, I guess I would. Oh yeah, I guess that would be Squad Goals. Like that's just so funny to me. Oh God, I love it.
And that's the thing, is there's so many lines here where like I can't explain why it's funny. It just is. The fact that someone's just like, they come with flavor though. I don't know if you know that. Like I don't know why that's funny, but that's fucking hilarious to me.
I think it's like 75 to 85% delivery, and
yes,
but the line itself is still just inherently funny. So, Dad, I definitely recommend Dad and Stepdad. I think it's definitely worth a look. Again, if you're into awkward comedy, let's give it a score. Kevin, what are you going to give Dad and Stepdad?
I guess like a 7.5.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm sitting too. I was kind of debating on like 7.5 or 8, probably somewhere in between there. Yeah, 7.5, 8. All right, so keep an eye on that. Maybe add it to your wish list on Letterboxd or something, and you'll get alerted when it's available.
Definitely.
All right, let's move on. Talk about some of what we've been watching. We didn't record last week, did we? So I don't know. I think it might be my turn, but I'm not sure.
Hit me. Tell me about The Whale.
I will tell you about The Whale. So, we're actually recording this on Sunday afternoon, so the Oscars haven't happened yet, but this is the movie that could win Brendan Fraser an Oscar. I think it will. I think it's definitely the role that's going to get him an Oscar. Not that this role was any less than anything else he's ever done, honestly. Like, it's not like he got better as an actor or anything like that. And it's not like really, he's just a fat guy in this movie. Let's strip it away. Let's be real. He is just a schlub in this. And I think that his performance in this is, on the same level as the other movies that he's in. He's a great actor, and I think he does deserve an Oscar. This movie, aside from Brendan Fraser and his performance, is it's meh. There's just not a lot to grasp onto here. I think I read that this was like based on a book, maybe, and maybe the book is better or has more substance. But this movie, as it is it's like just kind of like that misery porn almost. It's very specifically designed to kind of devastate you, and I don't know how this is received by the plus size community, but I don't know if it can be very well received just in how he portrays this character. Now maybe I don't know. Maybe that's how the character is written in the book, but it does seem like a little bit exploitative in some ways. Like
that's kind of
a lot of fat shaming in this, but
kind of what I was hearing.
Yeah,
it was just like, yeah, I'm gonna steer clear that one.
It's also like I can't really speak to any of that stuff, but visually it's bland, it's boring. Everything takes place in this like really drab apartment, and Aronofsky really plays it safe as far as the cinematography here. Like there's nothing that I made note of like that was that impressive with the cinematography. You would think that in a single location film that Aronofsky would, step up his game and be doing some cool stuff with the visuals, but nah, it's just ugly. Like it's a poorly lit, crappy apartment that's dirty and has stuff everywhere. And I mean, for the most part, Brendan Fraser's character doesn't even move from sitting on a couch, or like a lazy boy type thing. So not only is it in one location, but it's pretty much just in the living room. But yeah, not for me. I did not like it very much. I mean, it is sad. It is. All the performances are great. That's pretty much it. I can't recommend The Whale.
Gotcha. Yeah, definitely not seen it. It's been solidified. Well, I have one that I can recommend, although I don't know how you'll see it because it's not necessarily out yet. But it's the newest feature length from Christopher Jason Bell, who has been talked about numerous times on the podcast. Mm-hmm. His newest film is called Failed State, co-directed with Mitch Blummer, who also does the cinematography for the film, which cinematography is pretty damn good in this film. It also stars Dale Smith from earlier short film of Trammel, which I've talked about on the show before, which was I really, really enjoyed. Dale Smith played a guy that was just kind of like lonely, the guy that just like kind of has those like one-sided conversations. He just needs someone to talk to, and he just keeps talking and talking and talking. That's what Trammel is. Here in Failed State, he plays like a messenger / delivery man. And it's literally just like his day-to-day during the pandemic. He's just running around doing all these various odd jobs of delivering items, writing cards and mailing them, like anything that you could possibly want during the pandemic. This is what this guy is doing, and he's doing it all over New York, all the boroughs. So it's just kind of like a slice of life, just following him day to day, with kind of like, scripted events, right? But then there's also plenty of like just non-scripted interactions, like if he's on the bus, just random people talking to him on the bus, or when he's outside, like that stuff's included as well. And here, Dale Smith gets more to do, like it's a far more emotional role than Trammel was, and he does like a phenomenal job. And the movie itself ends up being far more emotional than like it early on. It doesn't really let on that it's going to go down that route, but it just kind of becomes you got the pandemic aspect of it, B, gig economy going on, and just, how capitalism, especially during the pandemic, just like has found even more efficient ways to just like grind through workers. Just regardless of the circumstances, we'll just fucking churn them out. If they die, who gives a shit? We'll get new ones. And it's all of that just in this like slice of life type drama. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, this sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's so good.
What's that called again?
Failed State.
Failed State. Keep an eye out. The new Christopher Jason Bell.
Coming at you.
I saw a movie called Variety from 1983. This is directed by Betty Gordon. This is one of these New York sleaze movies that I tend to really love. I love New York. Love me some New York sleaze. This is even though this was released in '83, it feels still like kind of a lot of remnants of the '70s were still around at this point. It's about a young woman who she needs to get a job. She ends up finding work at a porno theater on 42nd Street, and this guy comes in, and he's like super rich. He's like nice to her, and then like they go out once, and he kind of ghosts her, and she becomes completely obsessed with him. She's like calling him and like stalking him, and that's just pretty much what the movie's about. Like her, when the movie starts off, she's like very kind of straight-laced. She doesn't watch the movies that, she's just like, she works in the ticket booth. And as the movie progresses, she like slowly starts to become more obsessed and kind of unhinged. And I really enjoyed this movie. It has this like almost docudrama vibe to it, the way that it's shot and the way that the characters emote, like the dialogue in this. There's a lot of people talking over each other and having like very natural conversations. Like there's a lot of conversations that happen in this movie that don't even necessarily pertain to the plot of the movie. So it's almost like almost like a fly on the wall type of thing where it's like people just in a room having a conversation, and we're just listening in on some of these separate conversations, like at a bar and stuff. And it's quite good. Luis Guzman is in this in a very early role for him, but like he plays the manager at the theater, and like the second that he comes on though, it's him. But yeah, I would definitely give this a light recommend. It's not like a horror movie or even really a thriller. It's just kind of I don't know, just a light drama, but definitely worth giving it a look.
Yeah, interesting. You talked about The Whale with Brendan Fraser. We're recording this before the Oscars. I watched The Executioners with Michelle Yeoh from 1993. So there you go. There's another tie-in to the Oscars. This first off, this is directed by Johnny To and co-directed with Tony Ching-Soo Tung. And I didn't know that this is a sequel to another movie. So the original which was also those two, is a heroic trio. So it's Michelle Yeoh, Maggie Cheung, and Anita Mui. They play the three, like they're essentially superheroes, right? And this one, the reason that we wanted to watch this, meanwhile, the city's been devastated by a nuclear attack. Which, if nuclear attack, my wife she writes her name out as fast as possible, signs it, let's do it. So she read nuclear attack, boom, let's do it. This is a part of a Criterion Collection, has a Michelle Yeoh like collection I forget how many movies it is, like 7 or 8, I think.
Yeah.
All of her action stuff, you know.
Is
And
as a side note, is Yes Madam in that?
yes, it is.
Hell yeah.
Which
That's one of my favorites of hers.
Yeah, I gotta watch that because I was so excited when I saw that pop up on there. So Executioners, this is 90s to sell. It is absolutely, I just love the look and feel of this movie. You got a lot of tilted angles. You got a lot of like stages, you know, with that 90s lighting. I don't know how to describe it, but it's just, you see the lighting and you're like, this takes place in the 90s. I know it. It's just that artificial kind of like heightened. You got some fog in there, you know, a little fog at the bottom. Got all that going on. It's just the look and feel of this is great. So many people explode. Okay, I'm just gonna cut to the chase. A lot of people explode in this movie, and every single time it happens, it's incredible. It's just the first time it happened, I just lost. Don't see that very often, but they did it like 4 other times. Like people just keep exploding in this movie. People keep getting their limbs ripped off, right? People are getting punched through the chest. One guy gets punched through the chest. You see his arm go the whole way through, and his back stretches out the back. He doesn't rip through the back, right?
Oh.
It just stretches out, and he kind of like flexes like his hand, and you see like his skin, and it makes like a noise.
Nice.
Yeah. And you're just like, yes, I fucking love all this shit. This is just great. Maggie Cheung has a whole fight scene where she's just like inside of a truck, like a dump truck. So she's fighting outside of the truck and then back inside the cab. It's incredible. It's just so much fun. And I was so surprised to jump on Letterboxd and most of the reviews are shit. And don't listen to them. They're great. It's a great movie.
I mean, you can't really go wrong with Johnny Toe, in my opinion.
No. And it's fun as hell. It's so ridiculous. I love it. Like my wife said, it's like Hong Kong Tank Girl.
Hell yeah. I mean, I'm down with that. And that's The Executioners? Is that what it's called?
Just Executioners.
Just Executioners, okay. From 1993. The last one I'll mention is The Witch, Part 1, The Subversion. This is on Shudder. You can check it out on there. It's directed by Park Hoon-young. Now, this is interesting because like it kind of transitions nicely from the movie that you were just talking about, because this movie is similar in that it got some crazy fights involving like superpowered people. So this is the first part in what I believe will become a trilogy. I didn't finish the second one yet, but that one's also on Shudder. That's called The Witch Part 2, the other one, which I kind of love that subtitle. And what this is about is there's like this kind of top secret government agency type thing. I don't think it's run by the government, but it's like a top secret program where they're essentially creating super soldiers out of children. I mean, it's kind of like something we've seen before. They're doing genetic experiments on children to try to make them into like living weapons or whatever. And there's this one girl who is like the most powerful one, and she's like sick of their shit, and she breaks out and kills them all, and then like kind of disappears for a long time. And then she ends up on this like one of those idol shows, and she ends up on TV, and the company or the organization that she escaped from sees her performance on this show and comes after her. Then the thing is, like, she has amnesia, so she doesn't remember all of the stuff when she was in this program thing. But then after they come after her, it all comes flooding back, and she turns into this like super soldier badass who not only has super strength and like Wolverine type healing where she can like get shot a bunch of times and it just immediately heals. But she also has telekinesis, so she can like pick people up. She can pick up guns and shoot them with them floating, and there's all kinds of cool shit she can do. And it's a badass movie. It's violent. It's got some great action. Definitely recommend checking out The Witch Part 1. And from what I've seen of Part 2 so far, again, I'm not completely done with it yet, but the second one kind of amps up everything. So more action, more fighting, more everything in the second one. So I'm definitely liking where this series is going. And it's funny because like I heard of this because the second one came out last year, I think, and I saw people like talking about it and stuff, and I wasn't interested because of the title. Like that's what made me not really look into this, because I was like, I don't need another witch movie, you know? Like I've seen so many movies about witches, I don't need it. But it's really not what when you see this, you're like, okay, this is not really a witch movie at all. It's more of like an action sci-fi movie. So yeah, don't let the title fool you. It is very much a badass Korean sci-fi action movie. Man, dude, South Korea has been crushing it lately. Like, I feel like between the TV shows and the movies that they've been putting out, like, they're doing really interesting stuff, and America needs to get their shit together, because as far as our big blockbusters, it's like so boring.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I also just thought of something. This is just an idea that anyone can take, and please do. But I would like someone that their special power is that they explode, but they can survive that and then just put themselves back together.
It's what was that movie? There was like the Melting Man, but he wasn't going to survive that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There probably is a hero that can do that. I bet you.
I want someone that they can just detonate themselves. Everyone else explodes. And then their body just comes back together.
I'm pretty sure that there's a hero that could make himself explode, but I don't know that would necessarily mean that everyone around him also explodes.
Well, that's what I need. I need someone to do that for me.
All right. Well, that's $1 million idea right there.
Putting that call out. I'll pay $20 for it.
Bounty. $20 bounty on that movie. All right, let's take a look at what we have in theaters this week. The big one is Shazam! Fury of the Gods. I guess you could say that's the big one. I heard not great things, honestly. So, I don't know. I liked the first one, but this one looks like they're kind of changing the tone a bit, at least from what I saw in the trailers. Like the first one was kind of very light, very fun, more focused on like, you know, this kid who gets these powers and stuff like that, and learning what powers he has. And then this one looks like it's just a regular old superhero movie.
Fun.
Yeah. So that's, I don't know if that's the only wide release, but we also have Inside, which is the Willem Dafoe one, where he plays an art thief who gets trapped inside some sort of penthouse.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes a little cuckoo.
Yeah. Yeah, sure does. So that's number 57. Films with the name Inside.
Oh, God, yeah. Way too many insides. Come up with something else, guys. Make it easy on viewers. Also in limited release, we have Country Gold, which we reviewed on this show. I guess, when was that? Sundance, Slam Dance, one of those, maybe?
Yeah, I think. Is that the Troil?
Yeah, it is.
Troil.
That's the Mickey Reese one. Highly recommend it. I was a big fan. The Troil Brooks. Fake biopic type thing.
Wonderful.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for theaters. On VOD this week, let's see. Today is okay. So starting with the 14th of March, we have The Siege, which is Saban Films release. So I think you know what to expect there. Back to the Drive-In, that's a documentary about drive-ins, I would assume. On the 15th, we have Money Shot, the Pornhub story. That's on Netflix. It's a documentary about Pornhub, if you couldn't tell from the title. On the 16th, we have Still Time. That's going to be on Netflix. And then on Friday the 17th, we have The Magician's Elephant on Netflix. That's an animated film. We have Noise on Netflix. That's a thriller. We have In His Shadow on Netflix.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Netflix is really, I don't know what's going on here, but they're pumping them out this week. And none of them look particularly good, so
yeah, surprising.
That Noise one I might take a look at. I don't know anything about it, but the poster's kind of cool. Also on the 17th, we have Are You Lonesome Tonight? We got American Cherry. On Hulu, we have Boston Strangler, which I'll probably be giving that a look. And Cram. Supercell, that's another Saban Films release, I believe. And I think that is it. On the 19th, on next Sunday, All the Beauty and the Bloodshed is going to be on HBO Max. I'll mention that since we'll probably be recording on Sunday next week. On Blu-ray this week, we have Streets of Fire coming out in 4K. It looks like a Shout Factory. That's one of those collector's edition ones. Prince of Egypt from 1998 is getting a 4K release. We have The Whale coming out. We have The Core from 2003.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Oh, Razorback from 1984.
Razorback.
Now this is a great Australian creature feature about a crazy murderous boar that's on the loose.
Hell yeah.
I loved Razorback. Highly recommend it. It's like it. Well, you just got to see it. It's one of those great Australian thrillers where like they clearly they didn't have a big budget, so there's not a lot of creature work done, but how they do it, like how they shoot it and stuff, it's very, very good. Let's see. Phenomenon's coming out. That's the Dario Argento one with Jennifer Connelly. Highly recommend that one too. I was fortunate enough to get to see a print of that in theaters, and it was a freaking blast. Wild soundtrack on that one.
Do the drums go hard?
Yeah, dude. It's crazy. It's like a mixture of that kind of classic Goblin sound, but also like heavy metal.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty. That one has a pretty wild soundtrack. Like it doesn't match the movie at all, but it's still nuts.
That's the beauty of those movies. The soundtrack rarely matches, but the soundtrack is just like, hell yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, it goes hard. Like the soundtrack goes hard in a movie about Jennifer Connelly who can talk to bugs.
Hell yeah. What's more heavy metal than that?
I think you have a point there. Also coming out is A Man Called Otto. That's the one with Tom Hanks. That's the remake of the original one. It's called like A Man Called Ova or something like that.
Okay.
I didn't see the original one or this one.
No, I'm now remembering that movie. And I'm like, oh yeah. Didn't realize that.
Yeah. Glorious is coming out. That's a Shudder one, so you can check it out on there if you'd like. Alice Darling. That's the one with Anna Kendrick. The Wildcat from 1921. It's a Kino release. Let's see what else we got here. The Apology from last year. Did we talk about that on this? I don't know if we talked about that. When I saw that, it might have been like a week when we didn't record or something, but that's definitely worth a look. The Apology.
I vaguely remember you talking about that.
Yeah, maybe. I can't remember. What about Criterion's this week?
We got one, and that's John Woo's Last Hurrah for Chivalry from 1979. Getting the old 2K digital restoration. 2K.
You'd think that they would just go for the 4K at this point.
No,
No.
like 2K. Getting that 2K.
Like how, like, does it cost that much more to just go for the 4K? I don't know.
They didn't want to commit.
I mean, these days, like, almost no one, like, people have 4K TVs, but they just stick to streaming services that usually don't stream in 4K anyway. So
yeah,
it's just not, I don't know. All right, cool. I think that's going to do it for this week. Thank you so much for listening. You can send us your questions and topics to podcast@filmpulse.net. You can follow us on Twitter @FilmPulseNet and @FilmPulseKevin. And if you have a minute, consider reviewing us on iTunes. That'd be great. For Kevin Rakestraw, my name's Adam Patterson. We'll see you next week.